All right, good morning, everybody. We're coming to you live from Congregation Beth Yeshurun, where we meet every Thursday morning for an hour of studying the Parsha and gaining insights into every week's Torah portion. But before we do that, we're going to catch up on way number 43 and way number 44. Last time we counted the 44th day of the Omer. So we're going to do 43, and then later we'll do 44. So the way number 43 is Mityashev Libo B'Talmudo. So I say to say there's a fundamental principle that needs to be applied. And that is, when you learn something, think of a way that you can apply what you learn. Many times people learn things and it remains abstract. It remains, one of those topics of discussion. Very interesting that we have many different topics, subjects that we learn in school. We learn math, and we learn science, and we learn all these other topics, but not many of them do you really act upon immediately. Right? Language, hopefully you do. English, writing, and grammar, and right? So those types of things you do. But when someone learns Torah, the problem is that many times people think that studying Torah is another subject, and it's not another subject. Torah study is not another subject. Torah study is life. We say, Kihem Chayenu. It's our life. So when we study Torah, what we really need to do is apply it immediately to our lives. Figure out a way. And it's, the halacha says an interesting thing. If you take a nevela is something, a part of an animal which is not kosher, or a piece of an animal that's not kosher, you can put it into honey, right? And after a long period of time, that you can take it out and eat it. Why? Because the honey has such strong it has strong forces, I guess, in it, that it extracts everything that's in it, and it all becomes honey. So it may look like something. It's not. It has become honey. Our sages tell us that studying Torah is honey. And when we immerse ourselves in Torah, we become honey. We become the Torah. Right? When we become just like that piece of non-kosher food that gets put into that honey, it completely extracts all of what it is, what it was, and now it becomes honey. So too, a person can go and study Torah. Someone goes to law school, and they have anger problems. When they leave law school, do they still have anger problems? They do. When someone goes to become a doctor, after 8 years or 12 years, they're now a doctor, but they were arrogant before. Are they going to be arrogant after? Most likely, right? Just because you go and learn new subjects doesn't mean that you change, except when you learn Torah. When someone can go in to study Torah, again, studying it properly, internalizing it, and it will immediately eradicate all of that pre-existing flaws. And we see that a lot. We see that by Rabbi Akiva, very interestingly. It says that Rabbi Akiva, his father, made a promise, an oath, that when his daughter was marrying Akiva, that he will never benefit from his possessions. Never benefit. Why? Because he wanted his daughter to marry a sage, and she marries this Akiva shepherd boy, right? Now, we know that 24 years later, he became the great Rabbi Akiva, and he had thousands and thousands of students, and all the Torah that we have today comes through Rabbi Akiva. So the Talmud asks whether or not the father-in-law, now that his son-in-law is a scholar, does he need to nullify his previous vow? Because he said that he can never benefit from my possessions. He was a very wealthy man, and he didn't want any of his possessions to go to this lowly Akiva. But now that he's a Rabbi Akiva, and he was a great, 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 great man, does he have to nullify that vow? So the sages say no. The Talmud says no, he doesn't need to nullify the vow. Why doesn't he need to nullify the vow? Because the Tosafot explains this. He says because the way it works is that when someone goes to study Torah, they become a different person. The vow that he made was on a different Akiva. It wasn't on this guy. It wasn't on this holy, righteous sage. He was on the simple Akiva. But now he's no longer a simple Akiva because now he's immersed himself in Torah. He became that honey. But the only way that we can become the Torah that we study is if we do what the Ramban, Nachmanides, tells his son. And he tells his son the following. He says, every time you get up from the book, a Torah study, think to yourself, how can I apply what what I've just studied to my daily life? How can I bring this to action? That's the obligation. I think it's an important, in general, you have a meeting, right? At the end of the meeting, say, you know what can I put into action? You go to a lecture, right? People go, there are times that I've gone to lecture on so many good things, you know where to start, right? You go to some conference, all these interesting ideas, great, where am I going to start? Find something you can apply immediately. Every day, every time we learn something, every time we grow, every time we have a nice, good conversation, think of a way to apply it. All right? That is this 43rd way of mityashev libo b'talmudo is to bring it in, bring it all in. Okay, it's good to learn things, but you can't leave it up here. You got to put it into action. All right, and we're going to continue later with way number 44. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a lovely day.